Hey everyone, so I am here today to talk about The Woman King. So it came out September 16th, it's the 17th. I just went and saw it and I'm shook, y'all. I don't know, I think I have like a special connection to any and everything that deals with Africa, hence I am of African descent as an African American. The Woman King, it rocked me to my core. So I am a Viola Davis fan. And we've seen her in so many entities, but this is one we have not. She is an African warrior. So The Woman King, for those of you who don't know, it depicts a West African kingdom in 1823 called the Kingdom of Dahomey. And Dahomey is famous and known for having women warriors. Also, the Dahomey female fighters are also the fighters that the Dora Milaje from Black Panther are inspired from. So when they created the Dora Milaje for Black Panther, it was in honor of the Black women warriors from the actual Kingdom of Dahomey. And so you get to see Viola Davis as a general, Naniska. And it's interesting because they all the characters have African names, and as an African American, I'm not used to the names. There's a actress who plays the role of Nawi. I think there was a Igozi. But yeah, so you have the Kingdom of Dahomey, some badass female fighters, but Dahomey have an issue as other kingdoms and tribes in Africa at some point. The Kingdom of Dahomey played a role in being a middleman in the slave trade. So they talk about that. That is identified. It's just beautiful to see African culture depicted. And I watched some videos of the women having to get in shape to be able to accomplish these fighting war scenes they have in the movie. And Viola Davis she ain't young, but the way she was moving, she appeared to be young. I'm trying to look up her age right now on my computer to give you the insight on how old Viola Davis really is. She's 57, and she looks damn good. The Woman King, it's I just love African culture. It's just so beautiful. And I was doing some research, and the Kingdom of Dahomey is located where what is now modern day Benin. And I was doing some research, and like the Kingdom of Dahomey, when I saw Benin, I was like, it's giving me hometown vibes. The last slaves to be brought to America were brought to Mobile, Alabama on a ship called the Clotilda. And those African slaves, their tribe was raided. And the women warrior fighters of Dahomey were the ones who raided their tribe, village, and kind of played a role in sending these slaves into the slave trade, and they ended up in my hometown, Mobile, Alabama. So I was literally just reading this, and the information came from one of the members of Africatown. These slaves came to Mobile like right before the Civil War started, 1860. So they weren't enslaved long, and so these particular slaves that came on the Clotilda boat were able to continue on with their African culture. And they also set up a city in Mobile, Alabama called Africatown. A documentary is coming out, or a movie is coming out in October. The Obamas have played a role in it, making sure that this movie comes to light. And it's called The Descendants. And I think it's premiering on Netflix. And it talks about Africatown. But thinking about and learning about the Kingdom of Dahomey, and the women warriors were called, the female unit were called the Agoji. Hearing that they played a role in capturing the slaves that ended up in my hometown, I'm like, oh my God, this is a lot. This is a lot. And, we have people in Mobile who are descendants of those from Africatown, and from those particular slaves. And I'm like, and I don't know if I am, but it could be why I feel so highly connected to The Woman King. But it's great to see a film that was being deemed as not going to do well, because this has a setting of West Africa with a cast full of dark-skinned black women. And, you know, society thinks that dark-skinned black women can't lead in the box office. But it looks like The Woman King is doing very well. There's this aspect of sisterhood in the film. There's sexual abuse that is highlighted. There's a big twist in it, and I don't want to really talk about it and give it away for those who haven't watched it, but it really shook me. And the actress that played Nawi, I don't want to butcher her name, and Viola Davis and the other women, they just did a phenomenal job. And just Viola Davis, this is Oscar worthy. This is definitely Oscar worthy. It's a lot. And it made me want to do some research on the Kingdom of Dahomey, and, you know, and to find out possibly what's depicted in the film. Apparently the Kingdom of Dahomey had a more aggressive role in the Atlantic slave trade. In the film, it isn't depicted in a aggressive manner. But it's great. You were able to learn a little bit about African history, African culture, hear their music, see how they move. It was a great film. If you have not seen it, please go and watch it. I enjoyed it severely. It shook me, especially the twist in there, dealing with a family situation. And once again, just Viola Davis, she is a gem. And the fact that she had no problem being willing to tell this story, to bring attention to the darker black woman, letting us be able to tell our stories. And I think this was a good movie to be a segue into Black Panther 2, which we will be getting in about a little less than 2 months. But yeah, I would say The Woman King shook me to my core, y'all. It shook me to my core. Yeah, it's a lot, but it's history that we need to know, and that we need to learn, and that we need to embrace. So watch The Woman King, support the cause, and let's pray that Viola Davis and somebody else in her cast, you know, receive an Oscar, because this movie was Oscar worthy. Indeed it was. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And like I said, support the film, do some history on the Dahomey tribe, the Kingdom of Dahomey, see what their impact was in West Africa, and just learn more about such a rich and historic culture that we don't always have access to, even me as a black woman. I know this has inspired my urge to want to go to Africa, and I'm like, at this point, I just need to go before I turn 35. I'm 32, and just go and embrace what it is that our ancestors endured when it came to the slave trade over there, and then to just observe and be a part and honor the culture of what it is now in present day. So, The Woman King. Check it out. Tune in. Support black movies. And let's make sure our movies does well in the box office. I'm tired, y'all. But just wanted to capture this moment on how I'm feeling.